Welcome to the Ironhorse Report. I'm Private Rebecca Lampman. The 1st Brigade's Raider soldiers are headed to California. Sergeant Vince Stevens reports.
1st Brigade Combat Team soldiers are gearing up for the big event. The Raider Brigade is deploying to the National Training Center, or NTC, at Fort Irwin, California. The Raiders have been conducting maintenance and line haul operations for the past 2 weeks. Movement NCO Sergeant First Class James Husner says these operations help prepare units for overseas deployments.
We are double checking the dimensions so that there won't be a problem when it's time for it to be rail loaded. You don't have something that it'll exceed any limits. And this is also basically a dry run for any overseas movements.
The movement operations are almost complete. Unit Movement Officer First Lieutenant Robert Weber says Raider soldiers are dedicated to the task.
It's been hot, but I tell you what, our soldiers have been doing an outstanding job. We've been working out here since 06 this morning, and we've been moving along, getting everything accomplished, and right on schedule.
Raider soldiers have started moving to NTC. Brigade Commander Colonel Ted Martin says the training at NTC will set the standard for deployment operations in Iraq later this year.
I want to harness the power of the National Training Center to help prepare our soldiers for the rigors of combat that we will shortly face.
1st Brigade will spend a month training at NTC before redeploying. Reporting for 1st Brigade Public Affairs, 4th Infantry Division, I'm Sergeant Vince Stevens, Fort Hood, Texas.
1st Brigade deploys to Iraq later this year. Coming up in the show, Specialist Turner goes airborne. But first, Specialist Cox reports on a 3rd Brigade soldier's re-enlistment, followed by a 4th Brigade soldier and his spouse in our weekly family segment.
Specialist Joshua Williams is a radio and communication security repairer in the 64th Brigade Support Battalion. He has been in the Army for almost 8 years and recently re-enlisted.
I decided to re-enlist because I figured it would be the best thing to do for my family and for me. Especially with my wife going to school, she's going to college. My kids, I mean, we get all the benefits and stuff of being in the military.
The decision to re-enlist was one that he and his wife Lillian made together.
We took all the good points and all the bad points into consideration. You know, right now I'm not working, I'm going to school, so it's kind of hard for him to say, okay, well, I'm getting out because, you know, just because I can. You know, there's a lot of good things to it. You know, we take into consideration the medical, and you know, we always have a roof over our head. He always gets paid.
Though there are many benefits to being in the Army, there are still hardships with deployments.
With the deployment right now, it's a little difficult, him going and coming. But overall, it's kind of prideful. I feel very proud to be a military spouse.
Despite the hardships, Specialist Williams still enjoys being in the Army.
Things that I enjoy most about the military would be she's the training. That's a big one. I've been able to do a lot of good training, fun training, air assault school. I mean, I've been to several computer courses. I was in Hawaii for a while. I went to Thailand. I mean, I wouldn't really do anything else right now, you know what I mean? There's really no other job like it in the world. I'm
proud that he's fighting for our country. You know, he's doing things that a lot of people don't do.
Specialist Williams is getting ready to reclass to become a motor transport operator. Specialist Michael Cox, Fort Carson, Colorado.
I'm Specialist Titus Pierce from 277 Field Artillery Battalion. I am a 13 Bravo MOS, which is a Paladin Cannoneer. My additional duties is I'm the Battalion S1 Finance Specialist. This is my wife, Kiva.
Hello.
She's from the great state of Illinois, and this is where we live here in Killeen, Texas. We've been living here for a little more than 8 or 9 months after our deployment from Iraq. And we enjoy ourselves. We have very good neighbors. It's a pretty good community. And of course, Texas is pretty fun. We're enjoying Fort Hood. There's many diversions to do.
I'm proud of my husband for serving the country. And more or less, I've enjoyed some of the people and the spouses that I have met
I believe that I have come to one of the finest and best units in the United States Army. I've never found any corporation or any place in the world where people truly enjoy working with each other like we have here at Fort Hood.
The phrase the Mechanized Division brings to mind tanks, paladins, and other heavy combat equipment. Specialist Turner shows us a different view of the division with his eyes in the sky.
The Combat Aviation Brigade, or the CAB as they are known in the 4th Infantry Division, plays a critical role in both combat and training. On this training mission, the 4th Infantry Division's commanding general, Major General Jeffrey Hammond, flew in the UH-60 Black Hawk helicopter, while pilots demonstrated the combat abilities of the UH-64 Apache Longbow helicopter. Instructor pilot, Chief Warrant Officer 2, Justin Cohen, explains the capabilities of the Black Hawk.
So we can do air assaults with those helicopters, and for Alpha Company we do command and control aircraft support. The ability to move around the battlefield quickly and to pick those guys up when they need it is very important.
Chief Cohen says that air support plays a critical role in Iraq, and the more these pilots get to train, the better prepared they will be when they deploy. Black Hawk Crew Chief Specialist Tom Punera says because of how close he works with the pilots, they develop a special friendship.
The relationship between the crew chiefs and pilots, warrant officers, is pretty close. It's something we have to build. We have to be able to trust each other, you know, not just with flying, but with our maintenance that we do on the aircraft to, you know, keep everybody alive and safe.
Specialist Punera says that when he got to his unit, he had to start off in a maintenance company. Once he proved himself, he was moved up to a flight company. Even in the flight company, the crew chiefs start at the bottom of the totem pole and work their way up, ensuring every time soldiers fly, they are in the best possible hands. Reporting for the 4th Infantry Division Public Affairs, I'm Specialist Daniel Turner, Fort Hood, Texas.
That wraps up our show for this week. From all of us in the 4th Infantry Division, thanks for tuning in. I'm Private Rebecca Lanton.